And we probably need to, move on with that now. So if I can start with agenda item 1, apologies for absence, please.
We have apologies, Mr Mayor, from councillors Ewings, Hutton, Wood, Munro, Lewis and Hughes.
Thank you very much. And secondly, declarations of interest. We all know how this works. Anybody on that one, please? Good. Moving on to item 3, the minutes of the previous council meeting, which was held on the 16th of December. Does anybody have anything to point out, comments to make on that, please? So we need to confirm that. Yes, a proposer, please. Councillor Smith, and a seconder, Councillor Parker, and all those in favour. Thank you very much. Good. Public representations and questions. I see nobody apart from Georgina in the public gallery, and I've certainly had none of those. So we can move on to the items that require a decision. First one is item 5, Council Budget and Precept 2026 to 2027. Hopefully you will have read the corresponding paperwork involved with that. This is in fact a budget and policy item, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I mean, just to clarify, although there is a budget and policy minute which relates to this, it is the convention that in the interests of clarity and transparency, we have a separate motion which confirms the budget and precept for the council for the forthcoming year based upon the deliberations of this council and budget and policy committee over the last 3.5 to 4 months.
Thank you very much, Town Clerk. So we're going to consider this as this part of the meeting, and when we come to it in budget and policy, we won't have to worry about it then. So please note the figures that we are talking about here. So the total sum is £1,303,000, an increase of 17.31%. That equates to 74 pence per week for a Band D property in our town. Just for your edification, I've done the sums. If you are lucky enough to live in a Band A house, that would be 49p per week. And if you are even more lucky to live in a Band G, that will be £1.23 per week. So, has anybody got anything to say or questions on that, please? No. Councillor Edelman.
Sorry, we're talking about basically a 17% tax increase, are we? Yeah, or is it volume? Is there a volume element to it as well? We're getting more people paying it?
No, we're talking about 17.31% tax increase. That's of that around about-ish, 11.5% is the costs of taking over the Guildhall public conveniences. We had a public consultation on that previously when the Borough Council indicated it wished to consider closing public conveniences. We looked at all the sets of conveniences that were in the town. The Guildhall ones were the ones that the community identified as being their priority. So that's very much on the back. I mean, that was immediately pre-COVID, I think, if memory serves me right. We're in the fortunate position where the Borough Council have run those since then, because they were originally scheduled to be closed 6 years ago. So, you know, appreciation to the Borough Council for doing that, but they have now reached the point where they do need to hand them over. So that's the cost base associated with that. The other factor that you'll be aware of from last year was that our rolling capital programme, which is essentially the pot of money we use to deliver capital initiatives and capital works of repair and maintenance alongside those capital initiatives, we were only able to put £10,000 in last year. Now, our running amount for several years now has been £100,000. That is probably under what we should be putting in, bearing in mind the asset base that we've got. So, alongside that, the remainder is going into that. What I would say, though, is Obviously, that £100,000 typically would equate to just under 10%. So we have been able to make some savings to bring it down, because otherwise you'd be looking at 21 or 22% in terms of where it is. But realistically, we are in a challenging financial environment, and those two are very hard to avoid unless you decide not to do the public conveniences or not to maintain and manage our buildings. And I guess that's where we're at. Hopefully, subject to world geopolitics on the one hand, local government reorganisation on the other hand, what this does by virtue of returning to the £100,000 for the RCP and providing us with the ongoing amount for the public conveniences is this normalises things and we move back to a more normal trajectory. The one observation I would make is in terms of increases, if you use comparators like Oakhampton and Totnes, which are roughly comparable in terms of type of settlement to us, our increases have been less over the last 6 or 7 years than theirs. And if you use ones which are more equivalent to us in terms of budget, Barnstable and Newton Abbot, again, their increases have been higher than ours. This brings us more closer to the pack, but I think we're still below all of those in terms of increases. But of course, it depends on what your council tax base is as to what those increases actually do mean in real money. And obviously, Barnstable and Newton Abbot are much larger than us in terms of population base.
Councillor Parker.
I don't think that the question was answered, and it is an interesting question. Do we know what the property base is the increase of 74 pence per week is based on? Because of course, with more houses coming into the equation, then there are two moving targets, aren't there? One is the budget and one is the property base.
3,000 something.
In the meantime, while that question's being answered, I think, I'm not quite sure whether that came out in the answer, but don't forget that this is simply our slice of the community, our council tax. The county council and borough council have their own part of that as well.
No, exactly, but it's what people will hook onto is 74p per week per band D.
Yeah.
If the property base has increased at the same time,
yes,
and of course it wouldn't be 74 pence, it would be less.
Be less, yeah. As you say, there are two moving factors in this equation, aren't there?
Yeah, sorry. I gave you a lower figure. The Band D equivalent property base is 4,993. Now we increased by a couple of hundred this year, and the recommendation from the Budget and Policy Committee was that of that 200, I'm going to look at the General Manager in case I get this wrong, £10,000 be allocated as match funding towards the request for Section 106 funding for play equipment in the meadows, and £15,000, it might be the other way round, anyway, whichever way round it was, and the other remaining balance be allocated towards the Abbey Remains project by way of council funding, recognising that there are some tensions within that particular budget.
No, I get that, but we can be sure then that the 74 pence per week is accurate.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good. Any other questions on that item, please? No, so that is a recommendation, so we need a proposer and a seconder, please. Proposed and seconded. Can I? And all those in favour? Thank you.
Carried.
Which takes us on to item 6, which is also a recommendation regarding general finance. I'm going to lump these two together, so we've got Part A, which is the schedule of payments, Part B, which is the budget monitoring report, and you have a table in front of you with those details on them. Are there any comments, questions, thoughts on that, please? I was glancing through this personally when I came down to noticing the bid levy, which obviously, I don't know if you're aware of this, but people particularly in the Pannier market, are able to set up in business with the stall, and they don't pay bid levy, we pay it for them. So it's worth bearing in mind that the council's bid levy is fairly substantial. But I personally think we get a good value for money on that one. Anything else on that, please? No proposer, if I could. Councillor Ward again. Seconder. Councillor Moody. All those in favour? Thank you. So that's 6A and B. If I can ask my colleague, Councillor Johnson, to present the budget and policy minutes, please.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I rise to present the minutes of the Budget and Policy Committee held on Tuesday the 13th of January. 254, apologies for absence. 255, confirmation of minutes. 256, declarations of interest. 257, budget preparation and preset setting 2026-27 has already been dealt with on item 5 of tonight's agenda. 258, annual governance and accountability return, brackets AGAR, assertion 10. And it's recommended that Tavistock Town Council approve the preparatory work as necessary to secure compliance with the requirements of the new assertion 10 as listed above, and in particular endorse use of the NALC template information technology, brackets IT policy for the council at this time. Little b, a further report being brought before the next round of meetings, including a draft IT policy for consideration in order that the council may determine final arrangements. I so move.
Thank you very much. Seconder for that, if we could, unless there's any discussion. I'll take Councillor Moody's hand to be a seconder. Does anybody have anything? Yes? No? In that case, we just need to vote on that, please. All those in favour? Thank you.
Carried.
259, Devon Library Service consultation. And there is a recommendation which has been circulated to all councillors prior to budget and policy. If it's your wish, I'm happy to read it, but it is fairly lengthy.
I think we can. I think it was circulated to everybody before BNP anyway. So
it's in the minutes, so it'll be on the website,
yeah.
So it's freely available to anybody who wants to see. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's a recommendation. So I'm happy to propose that, please.
Yes. Any comments on that? Has anybody spotted that it's the National Year of Reading? So I think it's only appropriate that we're engaged in this. So I think that was Councillor Parker.
It is a small point, but it talks about the library's wider social value. In the area that I'm involved in, the library plays a terrific part in getting food out there,
Yes.
reducing food waste, getting clothes and games to people in need and families in need. And I think that's all part of the wider social role that this library plays in the life of Tavistock.
Completely agree. Councillor Moody.
Totally agree, Councillor Parker. I'd also just want to remind everyone and anybody watching tonight is to go online and do the survey, the consultation with Devon County Council. Go to the Devon County Council website, library survey. It takes a little while to get around it. It's not something you can do on your phone. I just realised that, scrolling back and forth. But it's really worthwhile that everyone gives their views of the benefits that the library have to our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm aware that the library staff in Tavistock are preparing a bit of a campaign to achieve just what you've said, is to maximise the engagement with the public consultation. So I think you can look forward to being bombarded with messages to that effect.
I think I forgot to say it's the 22nd of February is the final date.
Something like that, yeah. And just to address...
Only 4 weeks to go.
Yeah. And just to address Councillor Parker's well-made point, one of the things I've tried to encapsulate in this wording is the fact that we are a growing town We're all aware of that, and it's important, in my opinion, that we have a central asset in our town that will attract people not only from the existing population, but from those that are joining our community. Right, so that being said, we need a seconder for that, please. Councillor Parker. All those in favour? Thank you.
(260) Internal Audit Auditor. It was recommended that, little a, in view of the independence of IAC from the Council and related bodies, professionally, personally and financially, in accordance with applicable definitions, alongside demonstrable competence within the sector, brackets including holding office on the sector-led internal audit forum and relevant professional qualifications and experience, and B, subject to little 1, adoption of the programme of work / audit programme as listed in the report, little 2, agreeing the enclosed letter of engagement, little 3, confirmation of continuing professional indemnity insurance, C, the retention of internal audit services be treated as a specialist service for the purpose of procurement, and the services of IAC audit and consultancy be retained by Tavistock Town Council for a further 3 years for the period 2026 to 2029, and a letter of re-engagement by the Council is issued accordingly. I'd like to propose that, please.
Thank you. Any comments? Is that a comment, Jeff? No. Any comments? No. Seconded by Councillor Moody. All those in favour? Thank you. And then
Oh, goodness. 261, items circulated for information only, local government reorganisation in Devon. 262, Tavistock Heritage Alliance. 263, urgent matters brought forward at the discretion of the chairman. And there it was... Sorry, we've already done that, have we? No, it's the wrong piece of paper, sorry.
that's it, I think.
That's it, is it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Thank you very much, Councillor Johnson. Moving on to item 8, can I ask Councillor Smith, please, to move the DM&L minutes.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I rise to present the minutes of the Development Management and Licensing Committee held on Monday, the 5th of January. 245, apologies for absence. 246, confirmation of minutes. 247, declaration of interest. 248, Dartmoor National Park Authority, of which there were none. 249, town planning issues, none again. General correspondence, which there were none on that one, on there. And recommended that Tavistock Town Council support the provision of appropriate secure cycle parking in the town in principle in a collaboration between Transition Tavistock, West Devon Borough Council and Devon County Council, subject to the external funding being secured by the partners. It's on there. There's an addendum to the minute, and it says that the matter of location suitability and or priority for cycle parking and related matters have been considered by the committee and council previously in July 2025 when it considered the report of Transition Tavistock and the Borough Council respectively, and it was minute number 78 that refers, and I move that, Mr Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councillor Smith. Yeah, this was all about cycle racks. Caused a little bit of head scratching at first, but I think we got to the bottom of it at DM&L in the end. Any comments, please? Councillor Parker.
I apologise, I wasn't at the meeting, I was ill. As I recall, we were being asked for our top 2 or 3 priorities. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. In the meeting of last year, we had commented only, as I recall, on sites that were in the control of the town council. No?
I can't honestly remember.
I'm sure if I read the report in the minutes from last July wrongly, then I apologise. I'm just concerned that we, as a town council, being asked to comment as a consultee, we have a right and a duty to comment on sites whether or not they're in our control.
There were two bits that were discussed last year, one of which was about, as you correctly say, about town council land, and we responded separately to Transition Tavistock in relation to those sites. If memory serves me right, we then indicated that sites or locations which served Duke Street and which served Duke Street, Brook Street and I can't remember if it was Duke Street and Brook Street or separately Duke Street and Brook Street. So we did actually identify at least 2 sites in the minute last year, or 2 locations in the minute last year. And that's what we fed back, the same locations as last year, this time round to the Borough Council, so that they have that information which was specific and provided by the Council at the time.
Thank you. I apologise for getting that wrong. My concern was that the minute doesn't reflect, doesn't appear to reflect that we readopted those priorities that we set out in the previous July.
We've passed them back.
Thank you.
Yes, it did cause a bit of, as I said, a bit of a head scratching along those lines at the meeting itself, but I think we sorted it out in the end. I'm looking at Barry here. Yeah. So that you've moved that recommendation.
So we have a contact name within West Devon who will assist us in helping with that, and they say that they have a budget, but that hasn't been established at what level. Our main interest is to do what we can do on the land that we control, and that the various parties come together and work as a team for Tavistock. Is that fair enough, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah. Have you got your speaker on, Barry?
No.
No. Can you all make sure you do that? Otherwise, people can't hear online. Thanks.
I do apologise. Yes.
No problem. It's easily done. Have we got to the bottom of that? Does anybody else need to say anything on that issue? We still need to vote on it. Well, I think I probably still need a seconder. Can I have a seconder for that, please? That recommendation? Yeah. Councillor Parker, and those in favour?
Carried.
Good, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Turn that on. It's got down here. Right.
251.
This comes under 251 is the adverse weather conditions, and it was put down under urgent business brought forward at the discretion of the chairman, and we actually were talking about the snow and what was happening here, and I would take this opportunity to thank the General Manager for his contact with Devon County Council, who set through the details which you should have been forwarded, the email that told you exactly how to do it. And I would say that on a Sunday afternoon when I went onto the website and put on 3 items, they all cleared by about 4:30 on the Monday morning. So it does work, and they answer their phone when you call them.
My experience mirrors that in my area. Very, very prompt.
Yeah.
Councillor Moody.
Just for clarity, am I correct in understanding that Devon County Council do not inspect the bins, and it's up to them being reported by private citizens?
Can I ask
Yes, please do.
Yes, Devon County Council have control of the adverse conditions. They look after it. The main roads which are listed, they will grit those under the circumstances that they pick up with the weather reports and other conditions. The back roads are supplied, I think they have just over 3,500 grit bins around Devon on there, and they will maintain those provided, one, the contents are used by the locals, not for your front path and other bits and bobs like that, but for roadways and pathways. But it's down to the locals to actually look in there. If they need more, go onto the website. You can also phone them up and push the various buttons and get through to them. But they don't look into them. They do have problems with people using the grip bins as a waste bin.
You've just stolen my thunder.
It comes down to the fact that if the bin is full up with cans, dog poo or other non-things, they won't touch it. It's not their job to actually empty the rubbish. Some of them do, but in the majority no. So it's down to locals to maintain that, which was put down quite happily in the email that was sent round, I think.
Yeah, it's also worth saying, and it's something, having seen that email, I looked into. The website is well worth having a look at, because the interactive map actually shows you where all the grip bins are. It shows you whether they're full or empty, whether they've been reported, but most importantly of all, it actually shows you the roads that you described, Barry, that are gritted as a matter of course. They're shown in red on the map so that you can see whether your road is going to be gritted or not. I think it's a really good resource. Councillor Moody, Bev.
Mr Mayor, so who is responsible for keeping the rubbish out of them? I mean, they're
Tidy Tavi.
is it just the sort of general
I think
public?
you'll find that's just down to, yeah.
Because that's terrible if they can't
can't answer
fill them
that
up. So some system needs to be put sort of in place, I would have thought, to make it really clear.
Sadly, I think that's well outside our remit. It's something you might want to contact Devon County Council about, I'd suggest. Can we leave that one there? I'm still looking for a seconder.
I'm happy to say.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson, and all those in favour.
There's no motion. That's
It's not, so there is, I'm sorry, yeah. Right, well, I think we've done that one to death. I think you still have 252 to do though, Barry.
Yep. Thank you, Mr Mayor. As you've just said, 252 planning applications. Little A, planning decisions by West Devon Borough Council. Little B, new planning applications, and that is recommended that the views of the Town Councillors listed in Appendix B be passed to the local planning authority for consideration. I move that, Mr Mayor.
Splendid, that one does need a recommendation, so we do need a seconder on that one, please. Councillor Parker, all those in favour? Thank you.
Okay, and as always, the last one, 253, which is the next meeting, which is on Tuesday, the 27th of January at 6:30 in the Council Chamber. I would point out, if it's okay, Mr Mayor, that one of the considerations that we've got, a planning application, is for a development of approximately 120 dwellings on the Callington Road. As the time that we have to reply to West Devon does not allow this to go through full council, I would urge councillors to attend and view what is going through on that side. You won't be able to vote on it, but you can listen, and subject to the various discussions, we can allow you to talk and take your views on that side. So please turn up. I think, have we sent out the electronic version? Yeah, you've got the meetings electronically. They've gone in the post today, so provided the post office is working up to speed, they will be with you tomorrow. So please look at it, and also make sure that you read the details, certainly on the first page, because there is other aspects going on which is earlier than the 6:30 meeting on there. That's the end of that, Mr Mayor.
Splendid. Thank you very much. Councillor Parker has a view.
The deadline for submission of comments is not a fixed statutory deadline. It's the earliest, or I think the phraseology is that we should be given at least 21 days. It's happened before that we've formally, on a large application, a controversial application, asked for an extension to that deadline to allow full council to consider the application. May I suggest that rather than try and pack the DM committee with people who are there with a view but not voting, we'd go ask for the extension so that members can take a full part, not just in the discussion, but in the vote as well.
I think the town clerk might be able to answer that.
Very happy to ask for an extension. I think what I would say to members, though, is unless and until that extension is granted, I would still very much recommend that members do attend. Of course, I mean, even after the consideration, so at the moment, what will happen if there is no extension is DMNL will consider it. They'll make a recommendation to council. That'll still go to council, but that'll be after the date. We will send that recommendation in on a proviso basis, explaining the position to the borough council, saying the final decision is going to be made. They may or may not grant the extension. Equally, it may well be that even if they don't grant the extension, they don't come to determine the application until after the council meeting. It's really a belt and braces to ensure that all members are aware they have an opportunity to participate but not vote in the initial consideration, just in case, but we'll ask for the extension.
Thank you. I think that's that's in the spirit of the discussion that we had with Jack Houselander and Phil Baker in this room the other week, that we would work together on these major applications. Councillor Smith mentioned an event before the meeting. May we know what that is?
If you read your if you read your documentation, you will find out what that is.
I'm not the only one who needs to know. I think all members need to know.
It's been forwarded out. But it's,
perhaps you could just summarise that for everyone, just to make sure everybody knows.
There is a presentation from a developer which is being given, and it's something that everybody is invited to. On the details on there. Can I go deeper than that, Mr. Clark?
I mean, it's a Violet Lane pre-app.
Yeah, it's a Violet Lane pre-app, yeah.
It's a Violet Lane application, and members of the public are welcome to attend?
Yes.
It will be live streamed.
And that's why I asked the question.
Yeah.
So that members of the public listening know that they can come.
Yeah,
good.
That's it.
Are you happy with that, gentlemen? Is everybody else happy with that?
Can I ask Adele, what time is the meeting set for?
Presentations at 6, and the meeting will take place at 6:30.
6 o'clock?
Yep, so 6 o'clock for the presentation.
Okay.
So is that on the documentation?
It's on the documentation.
Behave yourself.
So, discussions limit what I...
Right, let's move on, gentlemen.
Let's go.
Has anybody got anything weighty to say, anything more weighty to say about DMNL than has already been said? No, in that case we will move on to the service reports. This is circulated information only, so we start with the service reports. First one from the General Manager. So a very fulsome report from Mr. Southall, which I read with great interest. Does anybody have any questions for the General Manager or comments thereon, please? Councillor Moody, Mrs. Bev.
Mr. Mayor, I just wondered, or actually Wayne, I just wondered whether, do you know if we've got this funding yet, for the Betsy Grimble?
I'll pick that up in part 2.
Oh, right, okay.
It will be addressed. It's a good question. All questions are good questions, but that's a particularly good question. Any more for the General Manager, please? Good. So the second one we have is the Pannier Market Report, which you have in front of you. It would appear that Pannier Market runs smoothly as usual. We're getting some good reviews. Any questions, thoughts, queries? It does seem that it's been a slightly, I'd say, bumpy Christmas for the Pannier Market. There's been some good good points about it, but I understand that there's been quite a lot of absence of the traders through illness and various other things. Okay. Number 3, Works Department. I picked out several things here which I would commend the Works Department manager for, and also the general manager. First one is the town hall carpet. If you've not been to the town hall recently, the new blue carpet is looking absolutely wonderful. We have some improvements, I think, to the heating system in the pannier market, which is well overdue. It does get a bit cold in there. The Trees of Light, I'd like to thank our Works Department for the hard work they did in assisting the Lions to raise such a wonderful amount of money. I can't remember how much it was, with the Trees of Light, all in a good cause. And finally, we have, if you can read through there, a 106 application out for assistance with the Meadows play equipment, which has got to be a good thing. Any more? Yes, Councillor Moody.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just one question about the Christmas lights in Market Street. When are they coming down?
Can I ask the General Manager for a comment on that one, please?
I would have thought within the next couple of weeks.
All right, okay.
If the wind doesn't get them first. Heaven forbid. Any more? Good. Town Hall and Butchers Hall report. I think you'll agree that good, fulsome, objective report on Town Hall and Butchers Hall. And now we move on to item 10, Finance and Other Matters. So we have a report from the Administration Office. Yes, Town Clerk would like to speak on that
Thank you,
one.
Mr. Mayor. Yeah, only one addition, just to say that we have received notice from the Devon Association of Local Councils in the normal way, where each year they invite nominations for the Royal Garden Party. It is the practice of this council to recommend the mayor. In this occasion, the mayor has been, so it would then be the practice to invite a past mayor. We had a discussion at pre-meeting, I think, the two past mayors we've got who haven't been, Councillor Ewings hasn't been, and I'm not sure, I don't know whether Councillor Hutton has been previously, so I don't know whether you wish us to... Councillor Ward, have you been? Oh, right, and Councillor Ward hasn't been, so I don't know whether or not you wish to hold a ballot in relation to those three names, or you just wish us to go back, either starting with the most recent or starting with the furthest away in terms of a name to submit. Sorry, both the Mayor and Deputy Mayor have been.
Councillor Parker.
Well, personally, Mr. Mayor, I'm happy to leave it to the Mayor, Deputy Mayor and Town Clerk.
Any dissent from that? No. In that case, we'll do that, even if it comes down to drawing lots.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Splendid. Any more on the admin office report? Good. Notes of the Town Hall and Markets Consultative Group held on the 9th of December, which is, you have a report on that. Can't remember there being anything particularly notable about that, unless anybody has spotted something I haven't. Anything? Yes, Councillor Moody?
The only thing I was going to mention is the co-op, the big co-op car park lighting, which I think came up at that meeting.
Yes.
And just for anybody watching and members around the table, that work is ongoing. Temporary lights were put in just before Christmas so that those top two floors could be used. There's some rewiring work that needs to be done as well, but Councillor Bridgewater is the lead member, is working on that, and they're hoping to get that work done shortly.
Thank you. From what I remember, we were fortunate that it was sorted out for Dickensian largely at the insistence of the bid. So I think that's another example of the bid doing something really good for this town. Good. Councillor Parker.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. There's item 3, first bullet point, has a crossover with the penny market report and the question I asked last time about the relationship between fluctuations in trading and fluctuations in traders and the traffic lights in town. That this report, this minute, seems to reflect what I had been concerned about at the last meeting, that those traffic lights are having an effect on trading in and around the Panier Market and Butchers Hall.
I'd go further than that. I'd say it's a serious effect from my experience and the people I've spoken to. I think we have represented our concerns through our county councillor to Devon County Council Highways, but it is what it is. I think we can only just keep pushing that message that we live in a unique town with a road structure that is easily disrupted by roadworks. And let's face it, people drive to Tavistock to come and spend money in our shops. The moment you start to dissuade them or deter them, it's going to have an effect. I can't think of a solution personally other than keep making representations of the highways.
In some circumstances, Mr Mayor, it's not particularly where works to by statutory undertakers is concerned. If they disrupt business, then compensation can be claimed and made. Has anybody explored that?
I don't know. I can't. Do you want to? Sorry.
As I understand it, and I stand to be corrected, I think the bid manager did look into that prior to Christmas with some people. I mean, she certainly was in quite a lot of contact with whoever the utility company was.
Yeah, that's something I can, as your bid representative, I will check that. Thank you. Any more on the Town Hall Markets Consultative Group? And the next one is just basically asking you if any of you have anything to say about the outside bodies that you work with. This is, I always think, is a good opportunity for you to spread good, bad or indifferent news about what you're doing outside this chamber. Councillor Moody.
Mr Mayor, well, again, I expect, I'm not sure who I approach the question. There's nothing about the museum in this report, because obviously the museum's closed at the moment for their winter break and they're very busy. I just wondered what's happened about the lease. Has that been done?
If memory serves me right, it's with their solicitors. They did have a change of legal representation. So I think, I think that their current solicitors have now come back with some new changes, and we have, if memory serves me right, we have offered them the opportunity to incorporate those, but on a shared cost basis.
Thank you. Any more? Thanks. Please, when you do attend meetings elsewhere, do consider bringing news if you can, because I think everybody's interested in what else is going on in the town. And 10C2 is feedback from members following their attendance at any training sessions. Do we have anybody who's had a particularly interesting time attending a training session? No. Right then. Item 11, to receive such communications or reports as may be submitted by the Town Mayor. I have nothing there. And then we have 12 urgent matters brought forward at the discretion of the Town Mayor, and I have nothing to report in that respect. So we move to exclusion of press and public